And welcome back. Things came pretty naturally for Tim Estenson as he hit the track as a teenager, but the learning curve has been a little sharper the last few years in a sprint car. Now 21 years old, the Fargo native has been making strides this summer thanks to some help from a friend. Estenson is in this week's Driver Spotlight, brought to you by Husets Speedway. Tim Estenson made a name for himself as a teenager on the legend circuit, winning races consistently around the region. But a few years ago made the jump from something he knew well to something very different. And there's been some bumps and tumbles along the way. But a friendship with Jack Dover, an accomplished driver with over 2 decades of experience behind the wheel, led to a new partnership this past winter.
Jack was helping me over the phone a little bit last year, and then, I guess long story short, we started just joking about him coming to work last year.
November, he asked me, he's like, so do you really want to do this? And at that point, I really had to make some hard decisions because obviously I work for my parents. I just had to cover my tracks before I committed to this deal. And once I talked to my sponsors, my parents, obviously, I had to talk to his uncle, which owns the whole thing, and brought Dave. He was with me, my crew guy.
Next thing I know, we're looking for a shop, and then he's signing paperwork to come work for us.
So a new team was formed, and Estenson received the type of support he desperately needed.
I probably lacked the self-confidence, kind of leading up to this. I never really had a mentor. I was kind of mostly self-taught, through the legend days, but now I have Jack and Dave. They've been around it for, 20 some years with great guys around them as well.
What I do with my own personal program is I go out to the track with the same setup everywhere I go. And I think that's what Timmy needed. He needed a baseline setup, which I think we found. I guess the next thing we're really working on is, him communicating to me what the car needs. He's really had nobody to look up to or, tell him what he needs to feel or what he should feel or what he's feeling. So those are the things we're working on now.
The biggest thing that he's been working with me is, just trying to hit my marks. I know I lacked that a little bit last year, like missing the entry to get a good exit. I think now with him, it brings back to being comfortable, letting the car just roll in and do its thing.
We're doing really good right now, but once he can give me a little better feedback, it'll be really good.
The team put together an aggressive schedule this season of close to 80 races. It's a new and different role going from driver to crew chief for Dover, but success is showing, with Estenson picking up 3 victories, including his first in a 410.
I've had a million people ask me if I like it, and honestly, I enjoy it way more than racing just because, I see the results in him. That's huge, and it's just not me, it's Dave, it's the whole team that makes this possible. So we're doing things he hasn't done, and it's just really rewarding.
I think a big part of it too is we grew such a pretty strong friendship and bond before we led up to doing this stuff so seriously, and I couldn't be any excited because the more races I do, the more he's going to grow his notebook and we're going to grow a bond together, and the better I'm going to be in the car at the end of the day.
Estenson is in Ohio this week, racing at Eldora Speedway for the Eldora Million and the Kings Royal. Big weekend there with a lot of dollars on the line. Should be fun to watch.